Hey guys, so I am back as promised to talk about this hair. So I finally went ahead and reverted my hair, and I told you guys in another video that I have noticed some texture changes in my hair, whether you want to call it heat damage, heat trained hair, whatever the case is, I have it. And so I want to tell you when I started noticing the curl pattern changes and what contributed to it, and then talk about the 5 mistakes that I have made as a flat iron natural, because of course it's only natural to make mistakes, and I am the minority here on YouTube when it comes to how I choose to wear my hair and documenting my journey. A lot of people, they may straighten their hair, but they don't document their journey as a flat iron natural, and so there's not a lot of content out there in respect to that, so I'm kind of learning and doing my own thing. So anyways, let's just get started with showing you my hair. Now, what I'm showing you now is a little bit deceiving. As you can see at the ends, the curl pattern is definitely very loose. Okay, as you can see. But this is kind of deceiving because this is after deep conditioning. So essentially what I did is I did a DIY carrot hair mask, and essentially I used carrot juice that I used, my juicer did about 2 pounds of carrots, some castor oil, some coconut oil, and banana baby food, mixed that up, put it on my hair while it was still dry, left that on for about 25 minutes, then I shampooed it out, did my protein treatment, my deep condition, so this is where you see me now. But I'm going to show you some pictures of what my hair looked like right after the shampoo, which this is going to be the most accurate representation of the state of my textures, because right after I shampoo my hair, the kinkiest part of my hair will kink and the loosest part of my hair will stay loose. So you'll get a good representation of that. So let's talk about when I started noticing these curl pattern changes. And as I talk to you guys about this, I'm going to be working. I wanted to go ahead and show you guys my hair without product. It just has water from getting out the shower. But I'm going to talk to you guys as I'm doing my hair because I can't let my hair really dry out like that. So anyways, my curl pattern was fully intact for the most part in June. Of course, with flat ironing your hair, your curl pattern does naturally loosen, but for the most part, my curl pattern was still intact when June came around. I started noticing texture changes around August, and the texture changes that I started noticing were towards the nape of my hair. Okay, that's where I started noticing the most texture changes, was at the nape of my hair. Then after my 9th flat iron, that's when I actually noticed heat damage, what I would consider heat damage. And the heat damage that I noticed, I'll show you in just a second. The heat damage that I actually noticed was right here. Can you see? It's very hard to see because the camera quality is not good, but you see these straight pieces here towards the root? This is what I noticed after my 9th flat iron, and then these pieces in the back that I had already started noticing the texture changes had become even looser. Okay, and so now after my 10th flat iron, you can definitely see that my ends are pretty loose. Now, fortunately, I don't have any like completely straight pieces, but even if I did, it wouldn't be that big of a deal because I rarely wear my hair in a natural state, but sometimes I do. So, yeah. Now let's talk about the 5 mistakes that I have made as a flat iron natural. Number 1 is skipping out on the protein. And you can see here too. And we'll talk about why that is in a bit. So, skipping out on the protein, if you watched my how to avoid heat damage video, I talk about how you should always use protein before and after your flat iron. Before and after. So before you flat iron your hair and after you revert your hair, because flat ironing basically is killing your protein bonds in your hair and you need to restore them. So, like this last time that I flat ironed my hair for the 10th flat iron, I didn't do a protein treatment. After I did the Design Essentials shampoo and the Design Essentials conditioner, that was it. I didn't do a protein treatment. And it was probably even more important that I should have did it because of neglecting my hair after that 8th flat iron. And even though I did a protein treatment before the 9th flat iron, one protein treatment doesn't always do the trick. And so that's why it's important that you do before and after. And I honestly don't remember if I did a protein treatment when I reverted my hair after the 9th one. So that is mistake number 1 that I made. Mistake number 2, which I kind of alluded to already, but is not properly reverting my hair after a flat iron. So, as I mentioned in a previous video, after flat iron number 8, I did not properly revert my hair. Instead, I just not washed my hair, that's inaccurate. I just wet my hair under water and put some leave-in conditioner in it, kind of like I'm doing now, and then I threw it in a ponytail. And I did that for like a week and a half straight. Just water and leave-in conditioner. I never shampooed my hair. I never conditioned my hair, deep conditioned my hair, protein treated my hair. None of that. And I did not do any of those things until I made the decision that I was thinning out my hair and I needed to stop my foolishness, but I also needed to cut out the damage from thinning out my hair. And so I went ahead, shampoo, deep conditioned, protein treated my hair. I think, like I said, I don't even remember. I think I did though. And then I flat ironed my hair. But I think that was probably one of the biggest things that I could have done wrong, is not properly reverting my hair, other than skipping out on the protein treatments. The third mistake that I made was not blow drying and flat ironing my hair properly. So, flat iron number 9 is probably where I made the worst mistake. And I honestly don't remember the details. But I do know that I did it in a way that I'd never done it before. And I had added products when I shouldn't have added products. And so I'm pretty sure I was flat ironing damp hair. Because that's the first time that I actually heard the sizzles. Now remember, if you watched my how to avoid heat damage video, I talked about how it's normal for your hair to smoke when it's burning off the heat protectant, but your hair should never sizzle. And I was not getting like sizzles every time I flat ironed my hair, like every section I flat ironed, but I was getting sizzling. And I think it has to do with me adding a product that I shouldn't have after and during my blow drying. It was just weird. I think I was trying to add like more moisture to my hair or something, or I don't honestly remember, but I do remember the sizzling. So that is what I would say was my third biggest mistake. And then my fourth mistake is probably not adjusting the heat setting appropriately. So basically, I had started flat ironing my hair at 370 degrees. When I first started my journey as a flat iron natural, when I started flat ironing my hair myself after that first one done by the hairstylist, I started at 370 with my purple Remington. But I live in Texas and it's super humid, and so 370 wasn't cutting it, so I eventually went to 390, and now I'm at 410. Well, that's quite a bit of heat, for your hair. 410, and I know there's people who flat iron their hair at 450, but not everybody's hair needs to be flat ironed at 450 to get straight results. So, in my hair, I have different textures naturally and different, coarseness. My hair is finer along the back, which is where it got the heat damage, and up here. So, instead of flat ironing, everything in the middle at 410 and then dropping my flat iron back, I don't do that. I just flat iron it all at the same temperature, which is not necessarily something you should do if you want to avoid heat damage. Now in the future, will I adjust the heat temperature? Probably not. Probably going to stick to my 410 because I do like the overall results, and I feel like my hair stays straighter longer. But that is a mistake that if you want to avoid heat damage, you might want to consider the different textures and fineness of your hair and adjusting your heat temperature appropriately, especially if, like I said, you're not wanting heat damage. And then the fifth mistake that I would say I've made is probably re-flat ironing after the initial flat iron. Now when I re-flat iron, I don't re-flat iron my entire head. It's usually always, and has always been, this portion up here. I don't know what it is, or if it's just because I can see it better and I feel like if this looks a mess, your whole head looks a mess. But specifically, I've re-flat ironed the top twice. Once this flat iron number 10, and then I want to say once flat iron number, it was either 8 or 9, I don't remember. But yeah, flat iron number 9, I know I didn't wear out a lot because I think the day that I flat ironed my hair, we had some flooding, here from the hurricane. So I had to walk out in the flooded water to get to the grocery store in the rain, and I had my hair scarf on and a hood on, but yeah, so my hair was really poofy after that, so I didn't really wear my flat iron number 9, so it had to be flat iron number 10, because there would have been no point of re-flat ironing the top for that, because the whole hair was just a poofy mess. But anyways, re-flat ironing, and no, I didn't re-flat iron at 410 or anything. Like I said, this top portion of my hair is already fine, so adding more heat on top of it is probably not the smartest idea. So those are my mistakes in my journey so far as a flat iron natural. But all in all, I'm pretty proud of myself because I didn't really get heat damage until a year and a half into my journey. So, like I said, I didn't notice the actual texture changes until about August of 2017, and I started my hair journey in January of 2016, and I had flat ironed my hair up until that point 7 or 8 times. So I feel like that's pretty good. I mean, to not expect for you to have any type of curl pattern change after applying your hair heat to your hair, it would be kind of naive, because you're taking a naturally kinky state and you are heat altering it to get it straight. I mean, of course, your texture is probably going to loosen. It's probably going to feel, if you're not like burning your hair, the texture is going to overall be a little bit more smoother because you've smoothed out the curls a bit. So it's kind of one of the things you have to be willing to deal with if you decide to be a flat iron natural. Because the thing that you have to realize is there's 2 different types of heat damage. There is the heat damage that alters your curl pattern, which is what I would say I probably have. And then there's the heat damage where your hair is brittle and it's constantly breaking, it feels terrible, you have split ends galore. That is the kind of heat damage that you don't want, because when that happens, your hair doesn't look good in its natural state or flat ironed. At least when you just have a texture change, your hair still looks good. When it's straight, it might just look a hot mess if you try to wear it in its natural state. So, yeah. But anyways, even though I'm fine with the texture changes of my hair, what I'm not okay with is this thinness. Like I told you, I had noticed that after my poor decision of not properly reverting my hair and doing whatever wash and go mess I call myself doing, I feel like my hair kind of thinned out, and then I flat ironed my hair for flat iron number 9 in order to cut out the damage. And in doing so, when you constantly search and destroy, you really end up thinning out your ends, okay? Now, if I hold my hair out here, you can kind of see where it gets thin. You can tell it's not from breakage, it's purely from uneven hair. So it's really thick up here, which makes sense because when you have new hair growing in after hair has shed and it's coming back in, everything's built up here, so that makes sense. Then it's medium, and then right at the ends is where it starts getting thin. But all this hair is healthy hair. It's just kind of thinned out from my searching and destroying to get rid of any split ends that I come across. And I've been searching and destroying since the stylist gave me all those split ends after flat ironing my hair. Because that damage was from her terrible technique of raking that daggone paddle brush and nonsense through my hair. But anyways, so now my goal is to thicken my hair back up. So I still will be doing what I consider maintenance dusting, because I feel like it's the easiest way to keep your hair healthy while retaining your length. But when you do maintenance dusting as often as I have, because I'm on a mission to get rid of all the unhealthy hair, it does thin out your ends. Because obviously, I mean, if you're cutting all in here, you're going to end up thinning out your ends. But now I can say that I feel like my hair is at a pretty good state where I don't have to maintenance dust as often as I was. And then I will also be doing a 3-month protective style challenge, just because I don't know what else to call it. And the main purpose of that is to thicken up my hair and to grow it longer, because I do want to try to reach full brow strap length. But if I don't, it's not a big deal, because the hair journey never stops. It's always ongoing. So anyways, I will talk more about the protective style challenge in my next video. So until next time. Bye guys.